That we were not taught in all of our academic endeavors about biology. We did learn about the mitochondria, and we learned about the functions of biology and things of that nature. In chemistry, you learn the interactions of chemicals and things of that nature. But what I'm about to show you is what stunned me when I got into the studies of such things as how the cell works. I recall as a young college student, maybe my sophomore year, we were talking about the simple cell. And the prof was going on and on about the simplicity of the simple cell. And afterwards I asked him, tell me a little bit more about that simple cell. And 30 minutes later, in discourse all of the mechanisms and what the simple cell does, he looked at me and says, it's not that simple. And it's with that as a backdrop. Let me walk you through some of the most interesting things that you'll ever understand or ever believe. Here we have a mitochondria. That's the engine of the cell. And the amazing thing about it is, there isn't just one engine in your cell. There's upwards to 3,000 to 5,000 of them in a heart cell. We know of 3,000 of them in the cell of a liver. So we're talking about the makeup of a cell and how fast it moves. Well, there's a little rotary engine that floats around on the inside of that cell, and it goes at the phenomenal rate of 200 laps in each and every cell per second. That's roughly 10 to 12,000 RPMs that this little rotary engine that's got all of the mechanisms, and it's said to be the most efficient engine ever designed. And you see that operating and opening up this incredible concept of building ATP, which is the energy of the body. And without energy, there is no healing, there is no nothing. We just need to make that perfectly clear. So what we've done in the United States is we've simply used stimulants. And stimulants bypasses some of the most intricate, important items that's made biochemically in the body. This efficiency is very important because you see, without ATP, there is no healing. So here we have this little thing running around and spitting out 3 to 4 molecules of ATP every time it cycles. And then your body has to clean that up because the molecule of ATP, when that one last phosphate molecule falls off the end, then it has to be replaced and reconstructed because that's the engine of the cell. And you see it rotating beautifully throughout the body. And then you also see the buildup of the double helix or the DNA, how quickly it goes together. And with the nucleotides, the 4 of them that are used to commingle with about 20 amino acids that build some 20,000 different proteins. What a story. And as that thing splits and separates and goes back together, we finally found that out of what was called junk DNA, there's some repair molecules in there that absolutely run up and down the spine of that molecule of DNA and repairs coded things that were not quite right. What an amazing story. And it goes up and down at the rate of 1,200 miles an hour. What I'm trying to say to you here is how fast things work in your cell, in the body. And then there's this little thing called the bacteria flagellum. How interesting is that? It works off the same rotary principles of a motor. And again, it is the purest, most efficient motor ever designed. And that tail rotates at 100,000 RPM. When I see that, I marvel at how intricately we are put together. And we seek balance and we seek peace in our system. And it's with that now all at once, what are our protecting elements? Well, we have the plant world that grows. And within the plant world, there's obviously some very interesting things that protect us. One, obviously the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats that are so important. And as you look at this thing, within the mechanism of the plant world, and it's affected in every one of them, there are things called monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, phenols, the ability to clean the cell, the ability to rewrite damaged emotional DNA, the ability to begin to clean up the system. You see, where there is efficiency in our system, when you have that, there's less disease, there's less pain in your whole makeup. And as we begin to understand the fuels that it takes to produce this using protein and carbohydrates, and the thing that was taken out, which is fats, replaced with sugar, the price tag that we pay for that is just amazing. So here we are. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of this thing in a way that I hope that you find interesting.